Hey, sports and dress fans. The screen is bigger for me because Dave is not yet checked into the studio. So he is leaving me hanging just a little bit. But hey, we'll go ahead and get started. And I will add him as soon as he hops into the green room. You know, it's a big studio. We got green rooms, snacks, beer, and everything in the green room for, hosts and guests and stuff. So anyway, hope you guys have had a fantastic week. And I'm excited to be here. We will. And today we're going to get through the NFC West, our picks. Who's going to win each division in the NFC West? Last week, we took care of the AFC and picked our winners for the AFC. And hey, there he is. Thanks for gracing us with your presence this morning.
You bet.
Making me sweat a little bit.
I had to get my background ready, so I'll present it now.
Oh, geez. It's an unveiling of oh, what a goober. That's cool, though. A little bit to the left. Yeah, there you go. That door. Hey, we've got, folks, we have high studio budgets here. And, we're I guess we spent all of our budget on salaries or something. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. It's a big day, big show. NFC. We're talking today a little more football news. I will actually be, if I can go ahead and start, I will actually be attending tonight's game, preseason game, to see Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray sit on the bench for their respective teams, and we will watch a lot of second, third string players, guys hoping to hit a roster this year. But so I'll be attending the Cardinals game in Glendale tonight. Buddy Robert Ramsey and his crew will be tailgating starting at 1:00 today. You can get in 4 hours for the game. So we'll be setting up and tailgating and kicking the season off and having a good time. I'm making some, as soon as the show's over, I'm getting some chicken wings and on the smoker. So I'm going to do up some smoked chicken wings for tailgating today. So I'm excited to get that stuff onto the smoker. So anywho, so I'm going to a football game. You were at a basketball game last week. And how did that go? So you're all muted there.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my assistant to bring me my beer.
Oh yeah. So how did the basketball game go last week in Vegas?
Oh, it was awesome. Got to see Sue Bird. It was actually a really big event there. They had thank you, sir. They had new attendance record for the Las Vegas Aces for the game. They are the number 1 seed in the WNBA playoffs, and they clinched that seed during the game we were at. Really, really good game. High scoring. I think it was like 98-93 was the final.
Oh, wow.
It was a good high scoring game. 2 of the women, one from the Seattle Storm, who were playing the Aces, scored 36 points. And then there was a gal from the Aces who scored, I think, 34 or something. So there was kind of a duel back and forth between these 2 guards, Lloyd from the Storm and then Gray from the Aces. So it was really cool, and it was Sue Bird's last regular season game. Her team did make the playoffs, so her career's not over yet. They're actually in the playoffs right now playing. The Aces have already got through their first round matchup this week and moved on. The Storm are leading their first round series to move on to the second round. But it was really good. I'd never been to a WNBA game before. The energy was great, and I think that was, a large part with a lot of people were there to see Sue Bird's last regular season game. A lot of your guys on your Phoenix Suns were on the court, seating.
Oh, nice.
So Devin Booker was there, Chris Paul was there, Mikal Bridges was there.
Oh, nice.
Trey Young was there from the Atlanta Hawks. And they all got some love from Sue Bird after the game, and she went around and hugged all those guys and stuff like that. So yeah, we had some NBAers in the house. I think there was some other celebrities in the house. Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders, was there. He was sitting courtside for the game. And then he left near the end because the Raiders-Vikings game was happening. And that's where we went after the WNBA game. It was at the Mandalay Bay Arena, which is the hotel. From there, you can walk up this bridge, pedestrian bridge, to the Allegiant Stadium for the football games. And so we just walked over the bridge, and we were trying to look for a cheap ticket to watch the second half because it was halftime when we got there. But still, of course, NFL, figure out your prices. Even just to watch one half of preseason, we were like, well, we're not paying $100 to watch the second half of a preseason game, And so we just walked down by the stadium and, checked it out and got close and then walked back. But, great weekend. WNBA was, as good as I hoped it would be. It was a really good game. The crowd was going crazy the whole game. They had really good support there. I was really, really happy about that game.
Good. Hey, Jim and Cindy, thank you for joining the show as always, our faithful viewers. And so great for you. I'm excited for today. Next week, I will be trying to broadcast from Hawaii. And as long as there is stable Wi-Fi for my MacBook, I will be no problem. It'll be an early show for me. But 9:00 still on the West Coast for everyone else, a few hours earlier for me. Hey, before we get into a little bit more new football news, so today I just want to share that my brew of the day is from Hop Valley Brewing out of Eugene, Oregon. And I was trying to stay with kind of a tropical theme since I'll be in Hawaii. And I was looking for Maui Brewing beer, and I've seen it here before, but I could not find it anywhere. So ended up getting this 12-pack mix of 4 different brews. This was they have one brew in there that's the mystery brew, and that is this. It's called Stash Panda Hazy IPA, used with all their stuff has cryo hops in it. And I guess I had to look up what cryo hops were because they actually trademarked this, and it's just a bunch of hop pellets that are concentrated lupulin of whole leaf hop, a bunch of stuff. Anyway, they get a bunch of flavor in there, but this one has got a grapefruit peel, hazy tropical ale, unmasked for citrus. So I thought, okay, I'll give that a go. A lot of the other few brews that are in are in there, but I love the color of this. It's nice and dirty, a little unfiltered. I just kind of really love the color of it. 6.5%. Everything that was in the 12-pack actually has a higher ABV, above 6%. And I think one was 8.7. So spent a little bit more on it at Bevmo, but it's not bad. I had a little sip. That I usually take these out about 8:00. I pour it. I take pictures of everything, and then I post it on Twitter. And this week I did on Facebook, and then I put the glass back in the fridge. So, but that's good. That's kind of like a breakfast. I hate to say it, almost tastes like a mimosa in a way. It's got that almost a sparkling texture to it. But anyway, so what you got on tap this morning?
So I got myself a Golden Road Brewing in Los Angeles mango cart, but this is the spicy one.
Ooh.
So I don't have a glass with me right now, but the color actually looks almost just like the color of your beer. It's a nice orangey kind of color. And I've had the one that's not spicy. That one's delicious too. Has a lot of mango flavor. Great summer beer. I would assume it would be my mother, Cindy, who is on the show right now's favorite beer is she loves mangoes. So if she has not had a mango cart beer yet, you'll have to hook her up with one. This is the spicy version, so it almost tastes like, I'd say, a fruity Bloody Mary beer. And it has a good amount of spice. The first time I had one, I thought, oh, okay, spicy. This is going to be not spicy. right? But it's got a pretty good kick to it, though. It lingers with you, hits your tongue a little bit. So yeah, the spicy, or if you don't like spicy, you could go with the regular mango cart, and I think you'll be pretty happy either way.
Yeah.
They're really low percentage alcohol. They're like 4%, so you can have a couple of them. But yeah, that's what I got going today.
Yeah, I really like the mango cart beer. I haven't had the spicy one, but I will. And you can actually pick that up just about anywhere. Even here in Arizona, they've got it in most stores. And so if you haven't had that, check it out. I'll pick some up because I think your mom would like that as well, and your dad. Your dad even tries those. Sometimes I'll get something crafty, and if it's a little bit lighter, he'll go for it. But otherwise, it's Corona or Bud Light with some Clamato, so a red beer. But for him, anywho, so we got our brews out of the way. We've got our updates. Let's talk a little bit of football. So, what kind of train wreck is Seattle going to be this year? I mean, I'm jumping in hard on that one. That was not a good showing the other night for Seattle. I don't know where they go. They don't really have a starting quarterback. I don't know that there's a lot of hype. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I mean, they just look terrible, and they lost to a Bears team like that doubled them up, and I don't see the Bears being a very good team. So if you're getting dominated by another not very good team in the NFC, I'm sure Seahawks fans are very worried right now after what they saw this weekend, that performance that their team put on. And I don't know. I feel like, it's an obvious rebuilding time for Seattle, and they may not win very many games. They get that good high draft pick, and Seattle, you'll be finding out who your quarterback of the future is in the draft next year. Because, Drew Lock, he's not very old. His career's barely started, and Denver didn't want him, and he was a pretty high draft pick. So, if they didn't have confidence in him, and now he's coming to Seattle, and they're not confident enough that he can start over Geno Smith. And, obviously in practice, they're not seeing enough from him. So for me, it's like, I don't know if either quarterback they have right now is going to be there very long. There are some very good college quarterbacks coming out in the draft this year after this college football season. So I see that. I see them just rebuilding, trying to get a lot of their young players that they do have confidence in, getting a lot of playing time, experience, and then, hey, we'll try to bring in a dude next year who's going to be the new face of the franchise. And it will be really telling the first regular season game, I think, because Russell Wilson's going to come back playing for Denver week 1 to Seattle. And if with a brand new team that he's on comes in and just smokes them.
Oh, yeah.
And the offense can't do anything against Denver. I mean, yeah, that's just going to set the whole season up for Seahawks fans to be like, okay, well, we're looking forward to next year and seeing what new young shiny quarterback we're going to have for our future, which isn't a bad strategy, because I don't know who else they're going to get as like a big free agent that would come there right now, anything like that. So just hold on, Seahawks fans. You're gonna have to have a lot of mango carts this year to get through the season.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can put something reputable on the field. I know we have a lot of Seahawks fans in the family, and I don't want to see them, down and depressed all season. So, a little bit more news. So it looks like Deshaun Watson's been out there negotiating his own suspension and everything this week, and it looks like they've settled on 11-game suspension for him. And so, I mean, part of me is like, a lot of the sports players would just be, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. They stay out of it. They keep a low profile. I don't know what this guy's doing. I mean, he's represented himself. Judge ruled initially 6 games. He was talking 8. I think the commissioner was, he was looking for at least a full season. And I think Deshaun wanted to get this behind him so that his team could make some serious plans for this upcoming season. And so probably went out there to try and say, hey, how about if we negotiate and get to 11 games? And so I think that's kind of where they're at now. You've heard different.
No, I think that's probably where they're at. That's probably where they'll stay at those 11 games, I would guess. The season's starting, I think, because it's an individual thing. I mean, it's not – Browns signed him, but the Browns aren't the ones that were on trial. So I don't think the NFL wants to do any more to the Browns and screw up their whole season and the whole season for the whole team anymore than what's already happening. So I think they'll probably stick. I mean, it went from 6. They did raise it to 11. I think they'll probably keep it at the 11 games, and then just try to be like, hey, well, let's finish this and move on with the season, because who knows what else is going to happen to some dude in the NFL that it's usually not just one guy does something every year. There's usually like 4 or 5 stories throughout the year of somebody. Unfortunately, domestic violence, right, DUIs, child abuse, whatever. I mean, it's really
126 miles an hour on the 101.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just really unfortunate, but it's usually not just one story. So the NFL probably needs to figure out what they're going to do with this, move on, and get ready for whatever's coming next for them to have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, another, I guess, QB story, and I didn't. We were texting yesterday, and I didn't really throw that one out there. There's still some teams out there that, we spoke the other week about quarterbacks, and we're talking about Mayfield and Darnold. I've heard some rumors that Darnold might be kind of floated out there on the market. I think they're pretty sold on Baker. I think everyone is, and maybe see if they can get some capital out of Sam Darnold if a team is really looking. I mean, maybe that's somebody that Seattle could pick up. I mean, I don't know what kind of upgrade that might be, but also I'm still kind of shocked that, and maybe it'll take it getting into the last week of preseason, but Garoppolo kind of just still sitting there. I really thought this guy would have a new home by now. And if he doesn't, what sucks for him is if it comes something like, preseason, we got cuts, we're going to make our final, it's like we need somebody in here. That just doesn't give that guy a lot of time to be able to walk into a system in a week, or 2, even if you have him sit out a week and you play who you thought, I'm just still kind of shocked that Garoppolo, I mean, is he really just going to ride the pine this year in San Francisco?
Yeah, I mean, 49ers are definitely going with Trey Lance. He's quarterback of the future, but Garoppolo did have the shoulder surgery. He's still kind of rehabbing from that. I don't think he's really taken any live reps in practice yet. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of waiting to see how that shoulder is going to respond still. I think that's why a lot of teams haven't tried to pick him up yet, because obviously they just don't know where that is yet, and he may not be available to play at the start of the season. Gotcha. So I think that's why teams are waiting, because they are the ones, like the Browns could pick him up. Not that Jacoby Brissett, I have confidence he can play well. I don't know if he can play to the level of Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's had decent moments in his NFL career where he's played pretty well for the Colts, and when he's been thrown in there, he's done pretty well. But he's obviously not a quarterback of the future, just like Seattle. I mean, I don't think Drew Lock is quarterback of the future. Geno Smith obviously isn't. So I don't know if they pick up a Garoppolo with those quarterbacks they already have at this time. And then Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold, I feel like, is better than Drew Lock. I don't know how other teams view him as far as his future, just because he started really slow. But realize he played for the Jets. I mean, look at Zach Wilson. He's not burning up the league as the new
No.
young guy on the Jets either. So
And
they've run through 2 really high draft picks for the Jets at quarterback within the last 5 years.
you have a much better in Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's a guy to coach up a quarterback, you know, that's got good talent, and just say, hey, this is what we can do to make you successful and make this team full, and win some football games. And so I think probably that actor there, if you could go out and get Sam Darnold, Seattle, is that he probably would be a better quarterback, just simply because of Pete Carroll. But I guess you could say the same thing about Drew Lock. I mean, Pete Carroll's a good coach. I mean, he's old. I think his time may have run out in the NFL. But yeah, I won't go down that road. But so I guess still some things to go. Rosters are getting cut down to what, 80? Is it 85? So we'll probably see some cuts. Every time I get a news thing that's veteran wide receiver cut from, and you look at it's like, okay, I don't really know who he was. It's like you're waiting for these big names to drop or something like that, but the media just puts in the whatever can get somebody to click on the headline anyway. So hey, we are going to pick our NFC division winners today. Last week we did the AFC. If you weren't a part of the show, Dave and I agreed 100% that the Bengals, Colts, Bills, and Chargers would each win their division, and we're pretty. I think we were pretty close on. I think actually we agreed on the order of each division as they would place as well. So we'll have to, once we get everything set in stone, we'll put a post so that everybody can kind of see where our picks are. And so this week we're going to do the NFC West. And I'll be honest, getting a lot going. I haven't really picked I'm going to pick them on the fly. And gosh darn, my mouse is not happy. It disconnected. So hold please while it connects again. There it goes. All right, so let's get this up here. So we have the NFC this week. I had this graphic for last week, but my screen sharing wasn't set up right. I don't know. So we have the NFC North, and I'll go first. I mean, I'm just taking the Packers. I don't think – I mean, I just – the Bears the Bears may be the closest team. Vikings just don't know how to put it together for a full season, and they'll be highly competitive. But, even though Rodgers doesn't have the receiving core he's had and has had to have a special meeting because, to kind of – get people to the rookies to understand that they got to come out and play at a high caliber level right away. And he hasn't really been happy with his receiving core yet in preseason, but I'm still probably going to just have to take the Packers here. Probably for me, it would be the Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions.
My order is exactly the same. When you have Aaron Rodgers, 3-time MVP, just won an MVP, most important position on the field, you got to roll with that. So I think they have enough left, even though they lost Devontae Adams. A couple young guys should step up. It's not too hard when your quarterback puts it right in your chest most of the time as a receiver to catch the ball. So my order is exactly the same as yours for the NFC North.
Cool. I'm sure we'll probably disagree somewhere along the line here. Our NFC East. NFC East has always just been kind of a train wreck in the NFL. Nobody really wants to win the NFC East. Somebody does because it's just has to happen every year. Who do you got in the East?
It's hard because Dallas should take it, but I don't like Dallas, and I don't have confidence in Dallas. I really want to take the Eagles. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is there yet. I like the addition of Brown at receiver. Miles Sanders did get banged up already this preseason, just shortly, so their starting running back in is maybe suspect. I don't know what Wentz is really going to do in Washington yet. but they get a lot of pieces back that could help. I have no idea how if Saquon Barkley is going to stay healthy for the Giants and help that offense, and a young Daniel Jones at quarterback. So for all those questions with those other guys, I think I'm going to have to take the Cowboys by default. I don't want to, but I think they have the most talent. So I think I'm going to take Dallas, then Philly, then the Commanders, and then the Giants. But I really would like to see the Eagles take that division, personally.
So we are going to differ here, just simply because I think this is a defining year for Jalen Hurts, and he's had flashes of brilliance. I think he's a good quarterback. I think they have a good team in Philadelphia. I think they have a little more fight in them, to be honest. And hopefully, for me, the talent can rise to that fight. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this division, and my order would be the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and then the Giants. And because I think Carson Wentz is still better than Daniel Jones, as painful as it is to say that. I think and that's just saying not a lot for New York when you're picking the Commanders over the New York Giants. So we have one where we're going to be different, where we're going to differ this year. All right, so the NFC South, and my mouse died again. Gosh, this is tough for me. No, it's not. I'm going to take the Buccaneers just because we got new quarterbacks at all three of the other teams, and I think, right? I'm not sure about the Saints, but Panthers and the Falcons definitely have new quarterbacks starting this year, and so I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win the South.
Yeah, I'm on that. When you have the best quarterback to ever play it, most winningest quarterback to play on your team, and the way that he went out last year, he's definitely going to, even though he's not at preseason right now, once the season starts, he'll be all in to make sure he doesn't end his career on a bad note. With Atlanta and Carolina still kind of rebuilding with these new quarterbacks and figuring themselves out, I don't think they're a challenge for him. The Saints would be the only team with as much talent they have on offense. If Jameis Winston can play good football, he got Michael Thomas back at receiver. Alvin Kamara is a great running back. He's got some pieces there. The defense is pretty solid, so the Saints are the only ones that I see really being able to challenge the Bucs in this division. But I still think the Bucs pull it out.
Do you have the Saints second? Who do you have finishing out the other two?
Man, that's the tough one about this conference. That's the harder thing. Are the Falcons going to be better than the Panthers? Is McCaffrey going to stay healthy for the Panthers? Because he adds a lot. But my heart wants to say Atlanta somehow is going to figure out a way to be better than the Panthers, because Mariota is going to show everybody that he's still got it. So for that reason, I'm going to throw it out in the universe for my man Marcus Mariota. And I want to take the Falcons over the Panthers. Okay. I really want Mariota to do well, and he does have some weapons there. Cordell Patterson's a real versatile player. He plays big running back. He was former receiver, so he can also come out of the backfield and catch passes. They have a really good some good young receivers that just got there. Kyle Pitts is a really good tight end. Mm-hmm. So if Marcus's legs still work really well and he can extend some plays, I'll take the Falcons over the Panthers.
Yeah, I have a different order, and I'm probably going to be way off on this because I put your second place team in last here. So I actually went the Bucs, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. And the Saints have just been kind of going a step back each year, just kind of, and you basically have seen who the Saints are already for the last couple of years, and I just don't see them improving on that. Whereas, the Falcons and the Panthers, they both have, they got new quarterbacks, new leadership. I mean, you've got new leadership under center. The whole scheme is going to change. So for that, just that kind of that, you don't really know what you're going to get factor. For me, it was kind of like when Kurt Warner took over the Rams in '99, right? You didn't know what this guy had, and everybody thought, oh, the Rams are going to suck. And they came out and they're the greatest show on turf, and won the Super Bowl. And it's sometimes those kind of variables just play into the success of a team throughout the season. So I'm going to give those unknowns to the Panthers and the Falcons, and but I am going to put the Falcons right in front of the Panthers, and then the NFC South for me, the Saints are going to finish at the bottom, and I'm totally going to be wrong on that. But you know what? That's how I want it to end. And so actually I'd be happy with the Falcons winning the division just because I'm Marcus. But all right. Hey, so our last division, probably the most popular in our family, is the NFC West. And I didn't even pick the order of this. This was just a graphic I pulled off of Google. So, probably still one of the best divisions, other than probably, I'm going to say from last week, the AFC West with, the Chargers and I think, and the Raiders, and I think that that's probably comparable. The AFC West to the NFC West are probably the two toughest divisions, I think, in each conference, and so I picked the last one. So you go ahead and go on this one first.
Unfortunately, I think I have to take the Rams still. I didn't see them get any worse this offseason. They had Bobby Wagner to put behind Aaron Donald, middle linebacker. They did lose Woods, but then they brought in a great veteran receiver, Allen Robinson from the Bears, who, with the right system and a good quarterback, can be a very, very good wide receiver. He showed it throughout his career. So I don't think the Rams have got any worse, so I have to keep them at the top, unfortunately. And then I'm going to take my 49ers second. It's Trey Lance. He has a lot of shoes to fill with Jimmy getting him to an NFC Championship game, getting him to a Super Bowl. But a lot of the core of the team is still there. We got Deebo Samuel back. Warner's still running that defense in the middle. I think we got a little bit better in the secondary in the offseason for defense, so that should help. And then I have the Cardinals at a very close second. DeAndre Hopkins having to miss some time at the start of the year. Marquise Brown is new coming in. I do like Connor a lot at running back. He's good around the goal line, and he's a good running back. If the defense can step up quite a bit more, I think that's where they can be able to catch the 49ers, not so much on offense, but if their defense can play better, that will bring them up closer to the 49ers. And then, yes, Seattle's just a dumpster fire, so they're way back in fourth.
Yeah. So, we are going to differ here because I understand you're a realist, Dave. Los Angeles did just come off winning the Super Bowl this year. I think the Bengals had a lot of chances to win that game, and the Rams aren't as good as what I think they are. They really were. I think they've lost a few pieces. They picked some up, but is it enough to take over? Because Dave, I mean, if you're going to be a homer for second place, you got to be a homer for first place, man. And I'm taking the Cardinals to win the NFC West. They started the season as the best team in the NFL, and even when Kyler Murray went down, Colt McCoy came in, did great. I thought there was a lot of coaching issues once Kyler came back. I don't think he was 100% healthy, and I also put a lot of blame on Kyler Murray, but he just got his big ass contract, so he's and the coach is challenging him. He's not being nice to. He's not treating him with kid gloves. He's during preseason and training camp. He's been challenging him because he's I think Kyler Murray has an ego that still needs to be broken down. And the coach is doing that right now. From what I've seen out of training camp, the coach is breaking it down, making him, actually get into some game management and get into the coach's head so he can kind of see why things have to happen a certain way. Kyler Murray did basically blow it in their playoff game. That was all on him, 1,000%. And but I still think that, they have the pieces. They did add pieces to the defense. I think Marquise Brown is going to be, I honestly put Marquise Brown every year on my fantasy football team, and he always does well for me, and getting the points. I think he's going to be that stopgap for Hopkins while he's out. And the other guy that left, Kirk. I never had I was never big on him because I didn't think he was a good route runner, and he didn't fight to get open. If he was open, he'd catch the ball for sure. He has good hands, but I don't think he was a great route runner, and he didn't fight to become a marquee receiver. So, so I think the defense is better this year. I'm taking Arizona. Then I'll take the Rams, Seahawks. I'm sorry, not Seahawks, 49ers and Seahawks. So I've got the Cardinals, Rams, Niners, and the Seahawks, because I just don't know that Trey Lance. I don't know that Trey Lance has got enough help. I'm not going to put it on him. I'm going to say he doesn't have enough. I just don't know if he has enough talent to make up for his first year. Enough talent around him, as he integrates into the first year. I think he'll have a better year next year. But so unfortunately, Dave, I'm going to put San Francisco in third. So we'll see how it ends, right, man? We'll see how it goes. Because neither one of us, if we knew we were all going to be right, we'd be betting our paychecks in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Hey, good picks there. I think for the most part, throughout the year, I think we're all on the same track. If you're watching the show, put in who you think is going to win the division. I know Nathan Ramsey went to our page last week and put in all of his picks. I didn't write them down this week, but if you go to our page, Nathan put in all his picks. And you can see that he has a Super Bowl winner winning in overtime. We'll have to point that out in a future show. But and I know he watches after the fact. But so next week we're actually going to pick. So we've picked our conference division, each conference's division winners. Next week we're going to pick who's going to win everything, right? Yeah, we're picking we're going right through the playoffs next week. And again, I'll be broadcasting from Honolulu or Ko'olina, Hawaii, and I'm going to go out and play some golf and hang with my son and daughter-in-law a little bit, even though they're celebrating their 5th anniversary and want nothing to do with us while we're there. And I really don't care because I'll be on a beach sipping Mai Tais and stuff. So anyway, my brain is already checked out and is in Hawaii. So, hey, any last words, man? No, I'll just be here next week with my sweet new background.
Woohoo! I like that. That's nice. That's nifty.
Yeah, and I'll have to figure out how to make it look nicer for the future shows, so you don't see my bathroom doorknob and my wife's character painting behind me. But yeah, and then my stepson. But yeah, so we'll just excited. Last preseason week is coming up upon us, since there's only 3, which I love now. I love that preseason gets over really quick and we get to the meat and potatoes of the season, because having to wait for a whole nother week after next week just seems like a long time. So I'm really excited for the season to start, and we'll have to talk about probably some of the big cuts, since some haven't really happened yet. The second week of preseason is basically ending after tomorrow's Falcons game. Maybe we get to see Marcus tomorrow night a bit.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen him very much yet this preseason, so that'll be fun to watch him tomorrow night. And then we got one more weekend of preseason, and we're rolling. So just excited for the season to get going.
Yeah, I like a shorter preseason. We've already seen some injuries this season, and you hear some season-ending injuries already, and I mean, unfortunately, it's a part of the game. I mean, you can't treat teams with kid gloves, and to go out and play touch football or anything like that. And for part of me is why I think the preseason should just be dumped into the regular season with cuts. You just start playing everyone, and you get your extended rosters, and then by the fourth game of the season, so you're going to extend your season to 20 games, 20 plus games or something. But at least then if you've lost someone, it counted in some way. So I don't, yeah, but if we went that way, then you wouldn't see as much talent on the field. But it is what it is. Yeah. So hey, man, we'll have a fantastic week, and I certainly will be, and needing this vacation. So thanks to Hop Valley out of Eugene, Oregon, and that was an enjoyable brew. And to Mango Car, I'm gonna have to try that spicy one. See if maybe your dad likes that one too. But I gotta check that one out. Oh, okay. I gotta check that one out. So I'll be enjoying these Hop Valleys tailgating today, and so
have a blast, man. Have a good time at that game.
I'll tell you what, it's a good see. I'd love to go to the Raiders Allegiant there to a game just to see what that atmosphere is like. But I'll tell you what, it's a ton of fun here. The guys that I'm tailgating with, they're in the main tailgate row, and they do this every single year. They set up in a certain place. They know the people next to them and next to them and next to them. And when they get to cool. Halloween, they have Halloween decorating contests, and it's also one of the main walking thoroughfares for fans after they park. They're walking right by us, and so it's like a premier place where these guys set up, and they've got the hookup. I mean, they've got everything going on. So I'm the newbie and to the squad, and purchased part of the season tickets from one of them, so I'll be out there for today and 4 more regular season games, and so looking forward to it. But all right, man, we'll have a great day. And thanks for everyone for watching. You can see us on YouTube, on Facebook, and now on Twitter. So go to all those places. Be sure to share us if you got sports fans. We're trying to keep our show to 30, 45 minutes, and we'll be a pregame show for you and each Sunday. So be sure to check out the show and be a part of the conversation. We'd love to hear your comments on what you think about what we're saying. Tell us if we're full of crap, or if you agree, which is probably what you'll do. So anyway, everyone, have a fantastic day and week, and we will see you all next Sunday, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Bye now. Oh, my mouse died again, so I can't end the show. I gotta get a new mouse. There it goes. Oh, batteries are new. Bye.